I want to bring in my guest now, Steve Cortes. He's CNN political commentator and former Trump campaign advisor, and A. Scott Bolden, former D.C. Democratic Party chairman and chair of the National Bar Association, PAC. Okay, so Steve, what did you think about the president's tweet this morning that you saw? He criticized what he said top leadership and investigators of the FBI and the Justice Department for politicizing the investigation. I wonder what you think, and if this might be a counterpunch, because he's facing very similar criticism himself with releasing this memo.
You know, I don't think he is, and I'm glad that in his tweets he also praised the rank and file of the FBI. I think FBI agents are overwhelmingly incredibly hardworking patriots who do dangerous work. They've been betrayed, I think, unfortunately, by some very corrupt and conflicted leadership, particularly Comey, people like McCabe over Department of Justice, Bruce Orr,
Steve,
certainly
in fairness,
Peter Strzok.
how do you separate their work from the leadership here? If you talk to anyone who knows how the process goes, rank and file is very much involved in this thing that President Trump is criticizing. I mean, you really cannot separate the rank and file here from the leadership as it's engaged in this process.
Brianna, I disagree, because the rank and file, I think, is doing the hard work of law enforcement, whereas we have a lot of evidence, some of it explicit, some of it circumstantial, that the leadership of both the FBI and the DOJ, particularly during the Obama administration, were incredibly partisan and incredibly politicized players rather than just down-the-line law enforcement people. But look, here's the thing.
Steve, the people that the president appointed himself
to
the FBI, I mean, you're talking about,
he's
criticizing Chris Wray. That's his guy.
They're all his guys.
I have not heard him directly criticize Chris Wray. But, Brianna, we're talking about this memo deals with DOJ and FBI activities during the Obama administration, not during the Trump administration.
Oh, that's not true.
I believe the Washington Post tells us that democracy dies in darkness. Well, you know what? I don't agree with them on a lot, but I agree with them on that. So transparency. Let's shine a light on these activities. Let's trust the American people to be adults and make adult decisions about this memo, knowing it's a partisan memo. Let's release the Democrat one, too. Let's get sunlight is disinfecting. Let's get the information out there and find out just what happened.
Scott, he's saying release them both. Release the Dem memo, too.
How long do I have to respond?
Just go for it.
I think, Steve, you need to be telling the White House that, to act like adults, to shine the light on a politically partisan memo that undermines the FBI and DOJ. I'm a former prosecutor. It is all about the Mueller investigation, protecting Donald Trump. And even if there's nothing new in it, the Republican piece on this and their talking points have been to criticize and politicize the DOJ and FBI. Now, they are manufacturing a document that is essentially based on evidence, in part on documents DOJ and FBI never wanted to give them. Remember, Scott, a month or two ago, they were fighting. Hold on, Steve. And so it is the first time, I think, or very rare, where you have the executive fighting with other executives and not relying on the FBI and DOJ and their expertise for national security, that they say that lives are going to could be cost. There would be a cost of lives based on this memo. Hold on, Steve. This is a fact. You cannot sit here and argue with the FBI and DOJ and say, oh, yeah, these were political people. These weren't political people, Barack Obama. These are his people right now. The top four in charge that he criticizes and the top four who the memo is targeted at are all Republicans. It borders on the nonsensical. So stop it. Just stop it.
Can I ask you, Steve, who do you think he's taking aim at with this tweet? If it's not
I think he's taking aim at the leadership of
who?
No, not Ray. I think it's the leadership of the FBI and Comey.
Wait, who do you think Chris Wray is?
The current leadership.
All the above.
That's who this takes a shot at.
Steve, I'm curious, specifically, who do you think he's taking aim at if it's not the head
I just told you,
of the FBI?
Comey, McCabe, Strzok, or Page, all of those people. But the memo deals with the Obama administration.
Steve,
and Scott, when you talk about manufacturing,
he's talking currently.
Oh, listen, I would say this currently. I think there are still problems there. And even if you're talking about his appointees, the point of this memo is that we believe, by the way, we haven't even seen it yet, but reportedly it's about corrupt activities at the DOJ and the FBI. Well, we don't give those very institutions then veto power over the release of that. Okay? I mean, they cannot act in that. I mean, they're too conflicted there. And when you talk about manufacturing a document, here's the reality. The Democratic Party party and Hillary's
Wait. Okay,
campaign
Steve, just to
paid
make, hold on,
manufacture.
Steve, I have to ask
There's
you.
the pivot, Brianna.
No, I have
Don't
to
let him
ask. I
pivot.
want to ask you something, because if you said they can't oversee it, but then you won't take aim at Chris Wray and you say that's not the focus of the tweet, then if Chris Wray is an honest broker and he says the memo shouldn't come out, then why wouldn't you take him at his word? I mean, you just said the president's not taking on Chris Wray.
Well, even Rod
Hold on,
Rogers did.
gentlemen, the
How
moment
about
we've
this?
been waiting
How
for.
about
No,
this for an
Steve,
honest
stand by.
broker?
Steve, I need you to wait. We have some breaking